open our session. And yes, Sublet, if we definitely want to discuss anything further, Revision Plus is a place where you can talk about more on the Sublet. Okay, so most of us could able to do that initial connection, I believe. That means create a simple HTML page, go to the Sublet. I think we have that preliminary statistics we have, right? I mean, everybody could able to do that. Then we can build up an entire thing, right? Anybody has any doubt on that? Please make sure you are joining on the revision class. Okay. Any doubt, anyone? Okay. So I'll consider that as no. Okay. So now, if you see that yesterday we were practicing about this query. I think this one you're talking about, right? So currently this one is nothing but your JavaX persistence query. Now, if you see this is session.create query. So this is returning, even Hibernate query also you can use it. Can you see? Now, if I, for example, I don't use persistence, I'll comment out this. What would have happened here? I simply import class. I got two options. I use this one. Same thing.
In my case, there is also MySQL query and JavaX management query.
So now you can see how org.hibernate.query, because this query implements internally, I think, JavaX persistence query. Internally, if you see the code, I mean right now in query interface. If you see internally, it is extending typed query. Typed query internally using something called query, which is nothing but JavaX persistence. So obviously, it is inheriting from one property from another property, right? So ultimately, it is inheriting from your super parent is called persistence query. Understood, Push? So even if you are using super parent or the grandchild, either of you is using it, right? So this is, you can look into. This is a good way, and this flexibility you can get it in IntelliJ. But maybe you not get this in Eclipse, because Eclipse you don't have a decompiler. But IntelliJ can provide you decompiler easily, so that I can easily go inside any class. But if you go to Eclipse, you might get a different scheme. You might not get the exact code. You will get maybe the something is written and the method signature details and all. It will be written like that. But in IntelliJ, you can directly get a decompiler, where you can, basically you are in .class file. If you observe where you are, you can see this. You can locate where you are exactly. Where this is located, it is under the Hibernate core, under that package you are in that. Anyway, so I think both should work exactly same. Understood? So this is one is your parent, super parent, because persistence query is the super parent of your Hibernate. Clear?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the difference between this configure and the configuration and the standard service registry?
Where it is? Configuration is where? Which configuration are you talking about?
For the session factory.
Okay. In session factory.
It's like, so I was trying to do the configuration. It was saying like it's outdated and was suggesting me for the standard registry service.
Outdated of which version you are using in that case? In form file, what is the Hibernate 4 version you are using?
Like I was having the issue, so I wanted to ask you, but I'm using right now configuration again. But I just wanted to know what is it.
So this configuration and service registry mostly. Sorry, come again. You're saying something?
No.
Okay, so service registry in where you are talking about, in Hibernate, or where you are talking about?
Yes.
So service registry in Hibernate is something which is how you are registering your, basically the class loader, right? So basically all these latest Hibernate, mostly Hibernate 4, actually Hibernate 4 and 5, like those sort of versions, we have that uh, we have that options like service registry instead of which is something called bootstrap service registry we have, or maybe we have standard service registry builder. Based on there you can simply load the whatever your session factory, right? You can load through that. You have metadata factory, you have session factory. There are a couple of options they have provided. Instead of session factory, they might ask you to do with the service registry builder. You can use either of it. Either use session factory. There also you can use session factory. You, with the use of metadata filter, with the use of metadata and all, you can use this particular session factory. But at the end of the day, you can do it. That's what I'm saying.
It's
Okay.
not a problem.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You can see now. Thing is, you're using configuration here, but now in advanced Hibernate, they remove this kind of Hibernate CFG.xml. But that
The
is
thing is,
why.
I was trying to configure, like for the annotation, I was trying to add the annotated class, and I was having the issue. So it was referring me to use this standard service registry.
That is because of the, but the thing is that you have to make sure you are using very higher Hibernate version. But nowadays all the projects and all, right, they are still not modified to that level. So I mean, theoretically it is there, but practically people not started using that Hibernate 5 and all. But mostly people are still using Hibernate 3, Hibernate 4. That is mostly used. People are mostly used that. Okay. So that is why you can still go ahead with the Hibernate CFG.xml, but yes, all these Hibernate 5 and all, you have this bootstrap service registry, normal service registry, everything can.
I'll come with my configuration.
But yeah, as of now, you can go with the configuration. There is no problem. Okay, so I think I was talking about criteria query, but here there was a problem of create criteria. Let me check what was that. Mm, Session dot create criteria. Session 2 is not allowing to create a criteria object. Why so?
I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How to update the certain column in using the SQL?
You can write alter statement, right? You can write alter statement, right?
Alter or
You can no. You wanted to change the column definition or column data? What?
column data.
Column data may simply update query. Then my what is over. Column data you can simply write like this, however you are writing here, right? From department and all. Let's say you wanted to update it. Just write a query. String update query is equal to update. Here you need to update this table, right? So this update this table is very much equals like you cannot update the table like that, right? So update is something which is update your class. You have to write the class name, right? So in that case, I wanted to update the department. Basically, I wanted to update the department table, right? Department class set, remaining all syntax will remain as it is, like your SQL. Set, let's say I wanted to update department name, the variable department name, not this is DPT name is equal to, let's say I wanted to update to test something, where you can say that DPT underscore ID, sorry, I think it is DPT ID.
So where is department name is the column names?
Yes, department name is a column name, right? Because this is nothing but your class department. So department ID is there, right? So you can say department ID is equal to 1.
Department.
So here, whatever you will be talking about is in terms of your Java method. Let's say 1.
No, I have a struggle. I need to call the one method to change the certain column with a value with the reference of ID. Then we need to pass the column name and then the value and then the
Column name. By column name, you want to pass?
I call just one general class to update this. Sometimes it's first name or last name, maybe other column with certain value, and then when the ID is given.
Okay. That you can do it, right? No, okay. Can you show me what you are trying to do? Maybe if you have done it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll understand from there.
So here I need to call one update the customer record, column name, string value, and customer ID. So customer has us first name, last name, and phone number, email. When I need to update the email address with a certain customer ID, then how can I update? Just write this way.
Okay, so column name is this. Okay. What is the problem you are getting?
So this way is right way or?
Yeah, this is fine. This is customer entity, and I believe you are passing the column name as what? Not the original column name. You're supposed to pass a variable name, or rather the property of this particular entity class. How you are passing the column name? Can you show me your column name? When you are calling this update customer record?
I'm not calling, just try to create an update.
Yeah, that's fine. Whenever you are calling this method, you need to pass column name as a variable name.
Yeah, sometimes the column name is last name, and sometimes the column name is.
It's okay. Whatever it is, go to customer entity. Can you go to customer entity? So here you can see the first name. You should send column name as a first name. Exactly same whatever you can see here. Column name as a last name, whatever you can see exactly here. The variable name. You cannot send like first underscore name which is there in your database. That's what I'm saying. In HQL, it never consider the whatever you have in your MySQL table column name. It should always consider your entity variable name, property name, variable or property. If you pass like that, then it is quite fine. Understood. So what you are doing is completely fine. Line number 134. There is no problem. I do see that. And you are setting the parameter. That is also quite fine. That is also not a problematic. You can do this.
I see a problem. Like suppose the column name he is passing as phone number, right? But the value will be integer or long value if he is passing.
No. This is his scenario. He wants to pass it as the this one last name or first name or last name. That is why he kept as a string.
No, only
but
last
if you
sometimes maybe phone number, sometimes maybe email.
Correct. So if you wanted to do that, now come to that point. If you are saying that I wanted to pass any type of column name, in that case you have to make sure instead of passing that value as a string, you can pass that value as a string. That is not a problematic as well. That to string we can convert. When he will be passing as a phone number, he has to convert long to string, and then he has to pass. In that case, the problem is when he will be passing as a string, again he needs to convert it in line number 137. Again, you need to convert it back to, but the problem is that there is a problem. So if you wanted to do like that push, you have to make sure your data type all are in same data type, or if you wanted to have it in different data type, then you have to handle it. There's no way.
Maybe
What
like he can put a if condition, like if the column
Yes.
name is phone number,
Yes.
then
Yes.
he can pass the
Yes.
value to integer.
Yes. Yes. Integer or long maybe.
Yeah, long, whatever he has.
Whatever. Yes. Understood, Kush, what we are talking about?
Okay,
So if you have a string data type of your variable data type and what you are saving in database is same, then we are good. There's no problem. But if you are having long, then you need to type fast.
okay, I got it.
Okay. But yes, you can write anything in that case, right? You can write whatsoever. 1 second.
So maybe he can overload the method as well.
Yes.
Right.
He can overload the method as well. So for example, this is your criteria query, right? So this criteria, okay, sorry. I was talking about this update query. So simply you can do with the create query. Then you pass the update query there, and simply you can do execute whatever you have done. The query to dot execute update. Simple. That's it. But yes, you have to make sure this is not a column name. This should always be your variable name. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Srinath, you was adding something here?
So I wanted to like I was looking at a different way. So what I was looking at was like in the query update query, like we were taking the select statement and we were getting the object and we were updating the object, like setting the new value in the object, and we were doing session.update. So that is also
Yes.
fine, right?
Yeah, that's also fine. That's also fine. But this is with the, you want to do with the HQL. If you want to do with the HQL, then you need to execute like this, right? That's what you can directly, you can execute any sort of query, delete query also. You can do update, you can do insert. Insert anyways is fine. You can insert also. You can actually do insert.
Likewise, for the update, what I'm saying is, like I'm not running the update directly, but I'm like with the select statement, I'm getting the object, and in the object, I'm making changes. Like
understood. So what you are trying to do is you are trying to do like this previous way. Like I get the object first.
Yeah, with get single result. Yeah, with
get single result or whatever multi result if you are taking as a list.
Which one is preferable? That's update.
Again, this is again depend on your scenario based on your situation where you are working. For example, you need to update 10,000 records. Then this HQL is not the feasible solution. Again, repeating that based on your scenario, you have to choose whether I will go with HQL or I should go with the conventional session object one. Get first the list of data and then. So if you ask me straightforward, can you give a scenario? If you need to update, for example, 100 records also, in that case, this HQL is not a feasible solution. So in that case, that session.get object, likewise Srinath was saying, you will get the list of objects. In future you will learn list. So that list of object you need to iterate, update the object and resave it. That's the best solution for that case.
That's it for individual purpose. Yeah, that's SQL preferable.
Yes. For example, what Push was doing, for that scenario, I need to go and update manually or individually each and every column basis or each and every row basis. In that case, you can simply use this update HQL step. Clear? Any confusion, anyone? Okay. So now let's go to the create criteria. I think here it
criteria class is not available, I think.
That is what I was checking, but it can. 1 second. Session 2 dot. I think we have criteria query. Can you see that?
Criteria query.
So I can see there is the criteria query, right? So it is named as the criteria query. If I say as the criteria, see the criteria is there. Criteria query.
Criteria query is there. Only the criteria wasn't there.
Yes. So I will check whether it is an interface or class. By simply hover over, we can understand. So this is an interface. So we cannot create a class, you cannot write a new keyword, right? You know the interface cannot write a new keyword, right?
Yeah.
So I can do session 2 dot create. No, I think you don't have here that create query. No. To create query, criteria query is something different, which was not there in a previous version. So now they have changed the API. So that criteria query is there, which is mostly available to us, right? So this criteria API they have changed.
Okay. What is the input statement that you have written for criteria?
Criteria query is simple, right? Java persistence. You can change this to object also.
So if we want to use criteria, then I think org.hibernate.criteria will give you the.
I know, but here it is. See the criteria. I'm not getting that option, right? I can only getting persistence option. Maybe the version, which version you're using? The version you might get that option.
No, I'm just searching the internet.
That I know, but criteria query is available because it is part of persistence criteria. But if you say that on the criteria object, because I checked that maybe this version, whatever I am using in form, for that version it is not available. If I upgrade this version, for that version maybe it will be available. But anyways, the execution is more or less same. Even if you are going for criteria query, if I store this, then I need to create session. No, I don't have session 30. I will be having that session 2. Yes, session 2 dot get criteria builder dot. I think get criteria builder only the option. Hibernate criteria builder. Okay. Dot create query. Yeah. So this way you can do it. Another way, create criteria query. Now you can pass the criteria query. We can fill the data in that. So for example, I wanted to create a criteria. So criteria query dot. You can see all these conditions are there. I would say set. Let's say get restriction is there. Let's say I added here some where clause. I can add where clause, right? So I can add a restriction like where clause. Here you need to pass the predicate. So this is another way. So this is when this is needed, this criteria query. Now I will ask that we can already write in HQL, we can write in normal session. When we can go for this options, when I can go for this option. So you can go for this option whenever you have something more number of where clause. Let's say I need to add 10 where clause in my condition. Let's say I need to execute a heavy search operation, search engine operation. Mostly we use criteria query in that case. That means dynamically I will add in the where clause. This is criteria query, the option where you can get that. clear what I'm saying? So, 1 second. Criteria query dot. So this is predicate restriction we need to create. Let's say I'll create something called predicate. This is a little complicated, but yes, but you can learn from here. Predicate is equal to, I think this is also an interface, yes. So you can create criteria query dot because this version completely changed because when I used also Hibernate, their criteria generally comes, but this predicate also comes over there. But here they are doing little different way, this version. That's why I need to check about the predicate as well, because predicate we have it. Predicate we can use to provide or to list down or to help it to provide all the predicate data over there. Okay. So there also we have their predicate. So this is something which is JPA and Hibernate combined, they are giving this predicate option. So this predicate can be mostly they are creating as a list of options. That is why we can use that, this predicate. I'll show you what I'm saying. Definitely I need to show this predicate. I need to use this session 2 dot get criteria builder dot let's say I need to create this predicate. Let's say predicate of something. Predicate of let's say I wanted to change the equals check. So where I will be, so here it will take two expression x and y, key and value pair. Let's say I wanted to check what you call DPT department name. If I wanted to check whether it is test or not. Simple. The method line equals string and string.
The X and Y is not defined.
I don't need to define, right? This is automatic. X means that
yeah.
and that is value. That is not the case. I think here you need the root. The another element you need. Yeah, because this cannot identify directly all the parameters. A root of items or rather let's say root, I will be passing here department, right? For example, which table I wanted to add a criteria. So I'd say that department root is equal to, so this root is supposed to import. It is nothing but JavaX only. This is giving you something called your criteria query dot from that department dot class. So this is something which is a form clause is applying. So root is applying here. So here I need to say department root dot get. I need to say here department name. DPT. This will be like. So it's not simply like I cannot simply pass the message. I need to create an object of a root. That root I can simply use over here. This is called predicate. This predicate you can pass like where condition. I can pass this predicate. Simple. And then I can pass the criteria query. Here's what I'm doing here. So here, instead of directly writing where clause, I'm writing where clause like this. I could have written simple select query like this. Select star from department where department name is equal to this. which I can pass like this. But you will say, what is the utility of it? I'm maybe taking a very simple scenario, but mostly this criteria query being used when we have a very complex search operation. And very complex search operation means when you need to add multiple where condition. For example, 10 where condition, 20 filter I need to do. Filter means where condition. Then I can go for this. Clear what I'm saying? And this where condition being dynamically chosen whenever it's possible. So this session dot create query will give you the query object, obviously. Query, let's say query 3. Let's say now this query 3 I will get it. Query 3 dot get single result, and I will get it in department object. I do typecast it mostly. Remaining already you have done it. So here up to here you will get it, right? Query. Then you can get it like list of department if you want to get a result list. Single result list you can simply typecast and get it. And same. Remaining execution there is no change. Here everyone, what is this all about?
Little bit confused on that.
Yes.
For this, we are doing the new. We are creating the new session. So that means totally new query, right?
Yeah, it is completely
And
new.
we
See,
have.
okay. Let me tell you upfront. You have seen this line number 75, 76.
Yeah.
You have seen this as well. Line number, where it is? This is set. I think we're not doing anything called get. You can do. So here you can do get the record. So you can, how you can get the record? Let's say I wanted to get back the part.
Hey, can you add this comment as a note so that we can?
I'll. So here I'm doing session dot get, passing the entity name. That's the department dot.
We're getting from database, right? Yes.
Yes. So this is ID.
Yeah.
ID means whatever primary key I have, that value I can pass.
Yeah.
So this is one way. So I will get the entire records from here.
Yes.
I can say that I can get all the information.
We can get only the one record from here.
Only one, only that particular records. Only that particular
ID one.
Yes, correct. So now this is another way of fetch all employee info. Like let's start from employee.
Yeah.
This is E as an alias name, which already we know.
Yeah.
So now query, we can create a query object and then we can simply execute, right?
Yeah.
That is one thing. That is with the HQL, Hibernate query name.
Yeah.
Another is with the criteria.
As in, yeah. That's Hibernate criteria query.
Yes. So Hibernate criteria query is something, again I am repeating, which is mostly used for your whenever you have a complex search. Complex search. If you are doing a simple search operation, no need. Unnecessary.
Complex search means like if there is a two more and more than one condition, like that.
Not really more than one condition. More than one condition also you can handle with HQL. When you need to add condition very dynamically. For example, you are submitting one form, correct? Mm-hmm. Think in this perspective. When you are submitting or you are like performing one search operation. Mm-hmm. In that search operation, you need to display one data grid based on the where you will be triggered, right? For example, I'll just quickly tell you when you can think of it. Criteria query. When you have given some search string and click on your submit button. So let's say you are in Google, you are coming and typing something, let's say Hibernate. Once you type Hibernate and click on submit button, it goes to backend database with lot of things. What this lot of things is all about? these things is taking, first of all, I need to get the search string. Then I need to check whether the user is authenticated user or not. So many things I have, right? I can have other parameters also. This parameter at the time of performing search, I will decide, and I will put it in the where clause to fetch the records. For example, if I give Hibernate, you will get 10 records. That's the first 10 records. Generally, in the database, it has a millions or billions of records. If I start fetching millions or billions of records, it will take half an hour to load my application for a user, which is not feasible to a user, right? I need to add that criteria, mostly criteria being used performing searches. Complex queries mostly go with the criteria. Clear? So other cases like normal small cases, individual update, individual delete, even multiple deletes, you can use the definitely all other operation you can go with your normal HQL, their normal operation. But criteria query is only to fetch the records. You cannot update, you cannot delete, you cannot insert any record using criteria query. It's only to fetch the data. That means only the select query you can do with this criteria.
That means that if there is a lot of data, then we cannot, if we try to all the data at the same time, then that makes the load for the application. So to minimize that load, then we are fetching like certain number of pages for first time, and that's once we load that, then okay.
So that is where criteria query you will be thinking for, nowhere else. Mostly this is worked with the select query, no nothing else, with nothing, not with if you think that okay, can we update with the criteria query? No. Can we delete? No. Only select. And that too when you have a complex search operation to be performed, not all the time. Because criteria query is little complex. Definitely I mentioned that. And this is the one way. Another way is there, which is simple. You can go with whatever criteria object you have. There you have something called restriction also. In there you can get the restriction and you can simply execute that. And so you can use that criteria. Maybe all the latest version of Hibernate use that. So you can simply create a criteria object directly from Hibernate, but here in this version it is not allowing. That's why I did this way. Other way, I will just write it. Maybe it will not compile here. I will write it quickly. Maybe you guys can compare it later. So this is
what you have done here in this criticisms, criteria query, that's
now to explain what I have done here, line by line. First, I create a session that is quite fine, quite obvious. With the session, I have a criteria builder. Hibernate is providing that criteria builder. So this is provided by Hibernate on this criteria builder. With this Hibernate criteria builder, I create the query object, criteria query object. Now I create another thing called roots. This root, you can see, this is nothing but I taken that whatever my entity, which table I wanted to communicate, which table I wanted to fetch the data for.
Root is like instead of using the list, we are using the root for that.
No. Root is something it will identify or it will tell you what is the entity you are looking for to fire a query.
Okay.
For example, this is department root. That means this root has been specifically mentioned for the department. This is the typecast. You can see the typecast. You can give any other entity as employee, student, anything, whatever entity.
That means this query will only fetch the department.
That is why you can see here dot form.
Okay.
That means select star from the table name. Correct? So that is what it is going to happen for you from that particular entity. Root will tell you that entity. Next is a predicate. Predicate where you can give your condition. You can add multiple predicates also. You can do list of predicate also. You can see, you can do in the where condition, you can put multiple predicate as well. This is nothing but a where clause, where you are putting the condition, where the department name is equal to test. You are putting like this.
Okay,
You
that
can
is
do
the
list of,
condition. Okay.
yes. Now if you say that I need to use multiple conditions, then how will do? How I will be doing? Then you can say like that I, instead of predicate, you have to create list of predicate.
Okay.
List of
But
predicate.
that is predicted. Okay.
So here is only one predicate object instead of that list of predicate object, which you don't know right now. So I cannot create list of predicates. Otherwise, the list of predicates I need to create. In this case, again, what I'm doing in the where condition, I need to pass the predicate. That means, in other way, the restriction. The restriction is the one which mostly used nowadays in the Hibernate. If you use the higher version of Hibernate. So now, if you go simple, next is execute the query. I mean, create the query object. Execute already happened. Then you will get the data. Select query. No update, no delete. Only select with a multiple or complex search operation. And now I will be writing advanced criteria object of Hibernate. What are their advanced? Simply will create criteria. I will simply write, maybe here it will not be compiled. So let's say that will comes from session dot create criteria, and passing this as a department dot class. So pass like that. But anyways, this will not be working here. So now this I will change the name to criteria dot add. There's something add method always available with this criteria. Inside that there's something called a restriction. This is also not present here in this particular package. Restriction dot generally restriction will be having everything, equals, greater than, less than, whatsoever. Let's say equals. I need to pass here the variable name, dpt name, and passing the value called test. Okay, so now once I have a restriction being added to the criteria, you can add number of criteria. It's a simple criteria dot add. Let's say I wanted to add more restriction.
This restriction means like not this
condition.
Yes.
Condition.
This
Condition.
in the list that it doesn't mean it should not be included or like that.
It should be including. Equals means that means select start from department where department name is equal to test. Department name restriction I'm adding. Let's say what else we have in department? Nothing, right? Let's say we have equals dpt id. Department id equals, let's say so 1. Understood? So this is a where condition, multiple condition. Department name is equal to test, department ID is equal to 1. Once I have that, those all conditions available with us, right? Finally, what you can do, you can simply call, let's say I wanted to get a department object, department 2 is equal to, I would say, this criteria dot list or department dot get whatever. So simply we'll get the object here back. Or if you wanted to get the list of data, so here it will be list of departments. Departments object. Here you can say the criteria dot list. Yes, list, only list.
Okay.
You'll get everything here. But anyways, this package doesn't have this, so I cannot execute. That's why I just show. You can use the same thing. If you are using the higher version of the Hibernate, you can. I hope you can get it. You can do here. Here also I think you can do it. criteria query dot. I don't have. Having multi-select dashboard one. Get group list, get restriction, query get groups. Is distinct. Subquery you can play with the subquery here. Notify all. Wait, this is fine. Here you will not get it criteria query, but here you can save that. If you wanted to do criteria dot set first, so let's say set first result. You wanted to get only the first result. You can set it the first result to be 1. You can set it. This is optional. You can do or not. It's up to you. Set what you call. Let's say this one is set max result. Set max result is 10, right? Like that. So 10 max 10 result you are allowed. So limit 10, which is equivalent to your limit 10. These are all things you can do while fetching the record. But again, criteria query is mostly used to fetch the records.
Okay.
Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Any question? Any doubt? Section.
We need to look one more time, and then I think we will be back.
Yeah. So I would request you guys to have a good amount of practice on these 3 options parallelly. 3 options. First is with the session dot get. Second option HQL. Third option criteria query. Again, criteria query is only for select. Insert, update, delete cannot possible. HQL, everything you can do it. And session dot save you can do it. Session dot get you can do it. Session dot update you can do it. You can do it session dot likewise you have done, right? Session dot save, session dot get. I think session dot update also you can do it. Update also you can do it. Session dot delete also you can do it. Okay? You can play around with this. Clear? So I'd like to stop here today, because if I start caching mechanism, which is the last part of Hibernate, the Hibernate caching, the first level cache and second level cache, which I will be starting tomorrow. So before that, I want you guys to have a good amount of practice on this. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'll push this code. Please have a practice and let me know. And make sure tomorrow morning we have a revision class around 9:30.
Okay.
Okay, then thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
See you guys.